But I got into finances back when I was a teacher, and so I really enjoyed doing this, and I've taught a lot of personal finance courses all over the place. So this Lunch and Learn, if you look up here, the key word is discussion. So just if you have any questions at any time, you feel free to let me know. Just interrupt. Who wants to be a millionaire, right? I figured I'd stop with a few, general finance things. And, well, there's three ways to get there. One is money. We're going to see in a minute how to get that. And the other one is risk and rate. If you want to take a lot of risk, well, you got a chance of making money, you got a chance to lose money. And the other one is time. And all three of those are extremely important. And the first one's money. So the first thing you can do is marry into money. You have somebody with a long red velvet dress that never seems to end. You can play the lottery, which is one of the worst investments in the universe. Remember, the lottery was ran by the mafia for years, and the government said it's so lucrative that we want to take over that business. It used to be called Numbers, and it's been run since the Roman Empire. So anyways, that's one option. You can always hit for $1 million that way. And the other way is perhaps you have an older aunt or a relative who's going to leave you $1 million. That's the easy way, not much skill involved in that. Now we're going to get a little more serious. We're talking about this time of year. I've been doing the same example for 30 years, and nothing's changed because I actually went up and updated the information, except the interest rate went up. You go to a local retail store, right, and they have a big sign. They always want you to get their credit card. And if you get the credit card, we'll give you 15% off today's purchase. Everybody's looking for 15%, but there's a couple of problems there. If you get the credit card and sign up for it, it goes, number one, it's a request for a credit score, which is going to make your credit score go down. And even if you have a $10,000 credit card and you only charge $5 on it, you're still going to have $10,000 against you on your credit. So remember, credit cards are always what the max is as far as the credit company goes. So let's say we want this Christmas spree. And we want nice things. So here's your TV. You want to buy your spouse something nice. So we have a $1,000 gift certificate, a $1,000 gift buying spree. Well, this particular store I used up, which we all know because it's one of the major brands, their credit card interest is 26.24%. When I first did this, it was 18.9, and I thought how unconscionable that is. Because you know and I know, if we put money in the savings right now, we're going to get, what, 1% if we're lucky? Right? If we're lucky. So 26% seems, wow, over the top. So let's say you charge it, but it gets worse. Because right now, for this company and a lot of companies, all they require to you is to pay 1% of the unpaid balance plus the interest on the bill. So I go in and buy my beautiful 4D TV. I got a $1,000 bill. The interest is going to be $260 a year divided by 12, by, whatever it is, it's going to be a big number. Not a big number, but it's only 1% of the balance. So in this case, they're asking you to pay $10 on your first one plus the interest. And if you're, budgeting, this is what we're here to talk about budgeting. I'm not here to talk about credit card, but it's a great lead-in. Because when you do a budget and you get that bill from this retailer, and you're tight, and things are going hard for you, and it says your minimum payment is going to be, I'm guessing, it's going to be around $22, max. And you're thinking, wow, I'm really tight, I got other things I got to do, it's Christmas time, so I'm just going to make the minimum payment. That's really dangerous. Number one, it won't hurt your credit because you're making the exact payment they ask you to. But just remember, that's what they want you to do. Because if you pay this 1% and the interest on the bill, in 10 years, you're still going to owe $302 in that TV. What do you think that TV is going to be in 10 years? If it's not ready to be replaced, it's going to be darn close, right? Think of a 10-year-old TV going the other way. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but you'll have paid $2,232 for that TV. And this is very, very as far as I know, this is right on. That's what it is. So, you know, $1,000 TV turns into a $2,200 TV because of rate. And when you have a 26, think of it the other way. If you would have invested that $1,000 at 26%, and by the way, if you know where to invest at 26%, let me know.
Yeah.
But 26% is, it's almost usurious. And to me, it's unconscionable. But you have to be aware of it because you get your nice little bill in the mail. So all you got to do is pay 22 bucks, and you pay. But don't forget, you're just going to get killed in the long run. And that's why if you control your budgeting, you're going to be in better shape. We were talking about time. Thank God we're all young in here, and we still have tons of time, right? Time is powerful. You guys, I believe in Crestline, and tell me if I'm wrong, you have the opportunity to contribute 5% to your, whatever they call it here, IRA, 403B, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same. And 3% match. So I think that's an offer that's made to everybody that works for this company. I mean, Uber Corporation, which is a worldwide corporation, hired me and they flew me all over the country to give this speech. And how powerful, because they couldn't get young people to commit that 46 bucks. And by the way, that's actually 60 bucks, and I can go on this all day, but I'm just going to say that's net weekly contribution. So you may have 60 bucks that you're putting in, but don't forget, this is tax-free dollars, so the IRS and Uncle Sam is kicking in that 14 bucks for you every single week on your paycheck, so you're already up 14 plus the 3% that your company's matching. If you're not doing it, you know, it's part of your budget, right? Maybe you're not doing it because everybody will say, I can't afford it, right? And I'll wait, and then I'm going to get a raise, then I'm going to put it in. Or right now I have kid issues when my kids are grown, when my college, you see what I mean? There's always going to be a reason not to join. This is long-term money. Long-term money shows you the power of time. And the power of time is, you got 10 years to retirement. I'm going to get into this. I based it all on $40,000 a year, which is 20 bucks an hour. So I had to have a number to play with. So 10 years, you're going to put in 32. But you're going to get 47. Here's where your power of time comes in. If you go 20 years, you're going to put in 64. That helps. But if you look, 64 is that your number, the number you put in is going to double. And if you look 30 years and you have that opportunity, now you're going to be at 323 and you're about 3 times the money. And if you're when you're 20, retire at 60, that's when your super opportunities come into play. Now that's going to be 635. And in reality, that's going to be way over $1 million. Because I'm basing it on 40,000 today. Just with inflation, your contributions will go. And if I just adjust this for inflation, on your contribution, you're going to be over $1 million. Yeah.
So that would be what your earnings would be a year after you retire?
Absolutely not. That would be your lump sum dollars that you would have.
Okay.
You would have sitting in an IRA fund $630,000.
Oh.
A retirement question. When I look at this, I always think of this. $630,000. Let's call it $600,000, right? If you want an extra $1,000 a month to help you, because we're going to have Social Security, etc. Well, $1,000 a month is $12,000 a year. And I divide 12,000, I multiply that by 20 years, because you figure you got about 20 years, 25, depending how healthy and how long we live. But the point is, you can see that's pretty healthy. If you take $5,000 a month to help you live after you retire, you're going to have about 25, we're talking today's dollars here. So you're going to have about $2,500 in Social Security, and then you say to yourself, can I live on $7,500 a month? $5,000 a month times 12 is $60 a year, right? This will finance that for 10 years. This will finance that for 5 years. This will finance, but $5,000 a month is a lot of money. So if you're making $2,500 from Social Security and $2,500 from your investments, you can see where this goes, right? This is what your nest egg is. This is your nest egg. What you have to do is draw down that nest egg. The impossible part of that, again, involves time, is how long am I going to live? Right? And if your goal is to leave money to your kids, that figures in, but usually you buy life insurance to take care of those things. And spend this and enjoy it and as quick as you can. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that'd be nice though, 635.
I didn't know how it worked at
No,
all.
it's 635, that's how much money you have.
You basically get it as a lump sum, or?
Yep, you can have it as a lump sum, it's your money. Some people could set up annuities on that and say, I want $2,000 a month. And then you could do the calculation. I'm going to show you some calculators at the end. Remind me to leave a minute.
Okay.
Because you can use calculators that are fantastic to figure that out. Like how much do you need every month? Just remember, today's dollars, you're going to have about, if you're a full, I think most of you here are full, quote, Social Security payers, Social Security is going to be about $2,500 a month. But that doesn't count your Medicare supplements that you'll have. You know what I mean? I'd love to come back and do a retirement thing if you guys want.
Mark,
Yes.
once you retire and you start taking from that pile,
Yes.
you get sick, you go in a nursing home, they can take that.
Yes. You could set it up. You could set it up in some kind of trust fund, but that means you're assigning control of your money over to somebody else. And if you don't sign control over to someone else, and that's something you have to plan X number of years before you go. Prior to. So you can't think of it the minute you start, your parents get sick. This is when you want to have a detailed, long-term, you can buy long-term insurance for nursing homes to help you cover. But the problem is the nursing homes will get this. My father had a beautiful chunk of money. He went in the nursing home. You know, it wasn't huge, but it was $300,000, and it was gone in every cent. When he left, he had we had set up a living trust because he never wanted to do it. Because I can't remember, it's 5 or 10 years before. You can't do it 2 years before when you know somebody has the early onset Alzheimer's and you know where you're going. You really have to have some forethought. 1, 2, the dangerous part is, I can't tell you, I got a buddy that works for the elderly abuse for Maine. You see their commercials, and his offices are in Holton where I used to live. And stories. You know, but you're giving control away. If you trust your kids or you trust somebody, that's one thing, but you've got to give control in order to avoid that particular pitfall.
So it doesn't go to your family? Your contribution doesn't go to your family, it goes
It
to the
does.
nursing home?
If you go to a nursing
See, the
home.
thing is, you're not dead, so you can't bequeath it, right? The nursing homes will take every penny of your money before Medicaid and Medicare kick in,
Yeah.
right? And you're going to be wiped out.
You are.
I've experienced it firsthand. I think,
You're poor when you die.
you're poor when you die.
If you go to a nursing home.
That's why you always try, and I don't want to lecture you, by God, that's the last thing I want to do.
No, but these
But-
are things that people don't know until you experience them.
But
We didn't know.
the thing is, life insurance will protect you in a different way. Any real financial advisor will give you a package and explain this to you in a proper way. Life insurance protects money for your children. The problem is, you've got to buy life insurance when you're young and healthy. I've got diabetes, I've had a heart attack, I've had 7 operations. I'm not getting life insurance unless I pay through the nose,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And I do have some, but the insurance I can buy now, if I live past 80, my kids get nothing. If I pass before 80, they're going to be in good shape because of the way I structured my life insurance. When you're my age with my record, the only insurance you're going to get is going to be termed. And no one's going to give you term past 80 because they don't want to pay. They're betting, and it's expensive, but they're betting I'm going to die before 80. And if you die before 80, you're going to get your life insurance, whatever it is. But if you die after 80, you get 0.
Yep.
But you think about that, I'm 63, so I got 17 years. My kids are in pretty good financial shape. And right now I have no other responsibilities. But if you're, anyways, I'm not selling life insurance, but it's part of any good long-term
We'll need to
budget.
talk.
Huh?
We'll need to talk later.
Talk. I'm going to talk. I can come back and talk about life
I'm scared to
insurance.
death of growing older right now.
It's not, believe me, it's hard. Just
A
to
lot
think
of
about.
things I didn't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now we're talking about what are your wants and needs, right? And I put a few up here for thoughts. Number one, you know, I've been here too. At one point in my life, I had a ridiculously stupid amount of credit card debt. And my only goal, I wasn't planning for retirement. I wanted to pay my bills. Once I got that done, then I could do something else. Because the reason you almost have to do this first, and some people would argue, oh, you still got to put money away. No, you don't, because this is going to be 18% if it's credit card, right? And if it's a house, that's different because your house mortgage. But if you're buying cars and you're buying toys and you're putting them on bad credit opportunities, you're getting killed by interest. So you almost have to attack that first or go bankrupt. Don't ruin your life. Bankrupt is an option, you know? 2, save for college. I mean, I don't want to go there because it still hurts me. But, you know, college is expensive. Do you expect parents, you know, it's not up to the parents to pay the whole kids. But you know darn well if you don't have it and your kids don't have it, you're going to borrow it. So you're setting them up for debt. And to me, that's, again, I keep saying unconscionable how much the interest rate is on college loans. It's stupid. But that's an investment. That's a whole different discussion. This is all about you. And no one's going to, what do you want? And that's what the whole theme of the speech is. I can't believe it, 20 minutes went by already. I got to, you know, retirement, right? I don't want to live on $2,500 a month. After I pay my insurance, it's going to be $21. You see what I mean? Then I'm paying taxes on that. I don't want to live on $500 a week when I'm 65 or 64 or whatever. You see what I mean? And I don't want to be in a position where I have to work. So that's important. Okay, but they're all important. This is the one that I think people neglect. What do you want out of life? Right now. If buying that boat and going sailing with your family, you know families like that, everybody's got a hobby. If it's going snow sledding, if it's buying a boat, if that's important to you, it's important to enjoy life now. And if it's important to you, that is part of your budget. But if you do that, you're going to be saying no. There's always choices. If everybody says, oh, you buy a boat, that's stupid. You know what? If a boat makes you and your family happy, that's what's important. So you work that in your budget. And then you could be saving for a house. House, you know, it's almost like a whole different discussion because houses tend over a long period of time to increase in value. Interest rates on houses tend to be low because they're secured against your property. So housing is a good option. And then you can have the whole rent versus buy thing. But renting is not going to give you a nice nest egg when you retire that your house is paid for. You're still going to be paying whatever and more rent at the time. Okay, the thing you got to remember, right, is you can't be the victim here. This is your life. This is your family. This is your money. You have to control it. And, you know, a control issue, yes, it is. It's exactly a control issue. You have the ability to change it, right? When I was in debt through my years, we had the little come to Jesus family meeting. You know what I mean? And this is it. We're focusing on this. How much comes in? You get a second job. Why did I teach college after being a full-time superintendent? It's because I wanted more money. And if you want more money, there's 2 choices. My kids are unbelievable. I'm already working 38 hours a week. I'm broke, Dad. Hey, great. What an opportunity to go get a night job. You know, they don't like hearing that. I don't know why. Okay? And you control what goes out. And then there's discretionary income and non-discretionary, but basically speaking, you have control. So it's not, I'm the victim, I'm always broke, blah, blah, blah. If you don't like it, get some numbers on paper and do something about it. Okay, now we're getting into the speed talk. One day at a time, reality sets in. You want hints about doing a good budget, right? Number thing, anybody will tell you. Look, go to any website, any advisor, write down every penny you spend. You'll be blown away. I did that yesterday because I had a little mental lapse there. I was going out to eat 3-4 times a week. And I was buying this and I was buying Christmas presents. And yesterday was like, wow. Because I wasn't keeping track. I wasn't following my own budget, right? Analyze your spending and make the hard choices that lead to easy outcomes. Analyze your spending is huge. I'm having a little trouble. I want to tighten things up. So I look at where I'm spending my money. Like I was spending $170 on cable, because when I moved, I just wanted the best of everything and I got it. And I'm thinking internet and cable is $170. So I really said, I handled it. Wow, I like my TV and I like my premium packages, but I got it down to $120. That's $50 a month that's now in my pocket. Cell phones, I'm working on this right now. I don't know what the answer is. Except if you have 4 people, go to T-Mobile because it's only $40 a line and it's got great service, I guess. But if you're single and you're alone, now it's $70. So if I'm alone, it's $70. If I have a family of 4 with 4 phones, it's $40 apiece. Do your homework. You see what I mean? And for God's sakes, whatever your homework is, I've been through the days, maybe some of you have too, when my daughter's got a cell phone, I open my bill and it's $236 because she blew through her data like there was no tomorrow. Control, control.
Yeah.
Set up different pockets of money. That's me. It used to drive my wife crazy because, like, you got money, yeah, but that's in this pocket. You see what I mean? I got my play money. And to me, my play money is so important to me. That's why I was upset yesterday. I'm blowing through my play money too fast. I got 10 grand and that's my play money. And when I go crazy, I try to fill it back in, but I always try to have between 8 and 10 grand in there. And it's in a separate checking account. So I have a friend, we like to travel together. So what we do, we set up a separate account. Let's, when we have a few bucks, stick it in, and then we have a separate account when we want to travel someplace. Or I'm saving for college. If you're saving for college, I really feel like I'm rushing too much. I've got to relax. But I gotta say this, if you have kids and you're saving for college, by God, open a 529 plan. A separate pocket of money that grows tax-free, right, if you're committed to it. The problem with the 529, you better be committed, because if you have more than one kid, it can be per kid, so that money could be in limbo at the end, and it's not that everybody's, oh, I can't do a 529. The only thing is you're going to pay taxes on it. So what? You would have paid taxes on it anyway. Okay. Pockets of money is important, psychologically for me. I remember when I was a little kid, my mother was not good at finances. And I used to do her little, she used to have the envelope. And remember the, no, but somebody would go, what are you talking about? You remember? And there was a little envelope.
She still does it.
You put 20 bucks in this is for electricity this month, this is for food. But you know what? It was cash and it was easier to track than a credit card. Control your debt. Okay? You have to control your debt. And if it's out of control right now, you have to address that. And you need a plan to address that. And I got a couple of websites I'm going to show you specifically. I got $10,000 in debt. I need to get rid of it. You can do the credit consolidation thing, but that's another speech. Shoot for small victories. If you do a budget, and you can't just say I'm saving for college, right? You're going to say my goal is to put $1,000 away for my kids' college. And when you reach it, recognize it and celebrate it. Okay? And then if your budgets are in a way, it's a joke, because we're all got these nice jobs here, right? Tomorrow you get laid off, all of a sudden your budget needs to be redone, doesn't it? And you're going to have to make some harder choices. But the thing is, if you get blown up, if you do a budget and you're really trying hard and you blow the motor on your car and you can't afford a new car and that's it, it's $800 and it's coming, at $2,000. You see what I mean? You can't let that destroy you. But part of your budget should be having a nest egg. But a nest egg is real easy for me to say, to do all these things. Use your budget, what does it say? Use your budget to guide your decisions. Guys, I'm blunt, right? When I help people that are really in trouble, right, there's 3 reasons. Number 1, boyfriend, spouse, girlfriend, whatever. You're in this together. Don't co-sign for anybody. You need the ability to say no. And a budget gives you the ability to say no. And your kids want to do this, your husband, your boyfriends, whatever, girlfriend wants to do this. Then you can explain to them, you use your budget. I was a superintendent. I'd like to have a new $800 projector for my room. Well, that's awesome, but it's not in the budget. You see what I mean? And your kids, I want to go to Disney World. You know what? Let's budget for that. Let's make that a goal, a priority. Are we all willing to sacrifice and get? And what are you willing to do? You got to get it together. But please, don't get sucked dry by somebody that comes into your life, and I've seen it over and over again. And a lot of times it's kids. Okay, and the last one I had on here is, I made a note to make sure I said that, endorphins. What do I mean? Anybody got a guess? It's like any addiction. Endorphins are released when you do something gambling. You know, my heart rate increases when I'm near a casino. You see what I mean? But it feels good to spend. You're having a bad day, your boss is a jerk, you're this and that, right? You go on Amazon and you soothe yourself. You're putting a salve on yourself, and we all do this. But by that, you feel good. But the problem is, it's like getting drunk. You wake up with a hangover, and you say, oh my God, did I need that? You know, whatever. Did I need that TV for $1,000 that put me in debt? You follow? Just recognize it. That's all I'm asking. Recognize it. That it feels good to buy something. And don't you love your kids? Don't you want them to have beautiful things at Christmas? Don't you love your husband? Don't you, you know what I mean? It's endorphins, and you have to recognize that because it's important. Well, you will be one happy Santa. You will be happier if you can see your way to your goals and you see the path. Instead of just bouncing through life and just buying whatever you want, a budget helps you put some structure into it. And the thing is, it can help you reach your dreams. If your dream's to get that boat and you're going to have a 2-point plan, you're going to have enough money to buy it and enough money to pay for your slip and all the other costs that go with it. But if a goal, if you have a plan, your budgeting is your plan. If you talk about corporations, they budgeted for this building. When I was walking in here, the first thing was I built schools and stuff. So I'm running through the numbers, and that projector alone is $1,500. You see what I mean? And that smart board, I know that's $1,300, so I used to buy tons of them. You see what I mean? And then you say but there's a reason for that. It was in their budget. They didn't create that in a whim. It was in a plan. Please make a plan. You're going to be happier in the long run. Okay, you all have papers, right? And I'm not going to let you go because I'm already over. But that is an awesome, awesome site. It has so many calculators that, you know, it's hard to believe how many there are. Whoops. Whoops is right. Did I just give up bad corporate information or something?
I'm not even sure what that
Okay,
is.
I'm going to let you go. You're going to have to trust me. That website that's on that paper, and maybe I'll come in and we'll talk about that again someday, but there's so many, like if you want to calculate how to get out of debt, if you want to compare your mortgages, if you want to look at car payments, if you want to check out what interest rates will do, should I refinance my home? I'm not exaggerating, there's got to be 50 calculators. My retirement goals. How much do I want when I retire? You know that commercial that says, what's your number? That is it. When you're talking about retirement, what's your number? What do I need in my bank account to supplement my Social Security for letting me have the life I want? I'm all done. I'm sorry I went a little over.
No, it's great.
You need
That-
to talk.
Yeah.
So, yes.
That went, I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
I looked up the first time and it was 20 past and I said, the clock's wrong.
We did start a little later.
Yeah, but,
So I just have a couple questions.
sure, absolutely, I'm here. I have in no hurry.
What firm do you work for? Or you?
I don't work for anybody.
Okay.
I'm retired.
You are, okay.
Happily retired. I'm working off my thing.
Okay. Well, my second question was, we have EAP here, and it does offer some financial support for people for counseling, and I didn't know if maybe our EAP, if you were represented by a company, if they accepted EAP, that would have been my question, but you're not represented
You
by
want
a
for me a
company.
job?
It's
I love
employee
doing
wellness.
this.
It's
This
an
is
employee
what I
wellness
love to do.
program.
Because, you know, and I've done, you know, consumer credit counseling.
Yeah.
And so I used to volunteer for them when I was with the United Way in Aroostook County.
Mhm.
And that was my little thing that I did, like some people do taxes and stuff like that.
Right.
But, you know, I've seen so many people. People seem to find their way to me because somebody will talk to somebody. And oh, and I've been there. You know, don't let debt control you. You won't be happy, right? And the only other thing I can tell you is, I hate to repeat it, but don't let other people mess you up. Or maybe you're the problem. But a lot of times, those endorphin things are real. You know, people eat because they want endorphins. People drink, people do drugs because endorphins are released in your brain. And it's a proven fact that when you're on Amazon buying something, endorphins are released into your brain. That's an absolute fact. Do you ever notice how Amazon makes it so easy? And I do love it.
Yeah.
Because I have Prime, and it's click,
Yep.
click,
Yeah, done.
click. And 2 days later, it's in my garage because they didn't leave it on the front porch because there was snow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but the reason they do that is they're making it very easy for you to fulfill that. But, you know, credit cards aren't bad. Don't get me wrong on the credit cards. But by God, that's ridiculous. And the thing is, if you pay your credit cards off within 30 days, you know there's no interest, right? But the problem is, you can let it go a little bit. That can be part of your budget too. I need a little more room at Christmas time. Okay, then go ahead. But the problem is, have a plan to pay it off in 3 months. It won't kill you on interest. 26%, I cut that.
That's awful.
Okay, sorry. Do you get dinged if you have credit cards and you close them?
No. But, you know, it's going to take a while to catch up.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, open credit cards, they're always the max. I don't know why. I have this one credit card, and I have like $30,000. It's ridiculous. I was thinking the other day I should call, but I always like to have that. You never know when I have to buy a big boat or a mobile home.
You should put that on your Christmas list.
Oh yeah, the thing is,
Boat. Santa's got a few more homes.
see, I'm a huge points guy. Southwest is my addiction. Thank you for coming.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
Appreciate it.